Welcome back into the buzz, everybody. I'm here with Timo Vuorensola and Lizzie Bugulova. I am so excited to talk to you guys about this movie, Altered. I watched it. It's very fun. And Tom Felton also stars in this. And Lizzie, you play Chloe in this film. We're going to start with you real quick. First of all, how are you both? Let's get that out of the way before I jump into it. Let's ask how you are first for both of you. How are you guys doing?
Well, I'm miserable, but that's because I'm a Finn. Finns are always a little bit miserable. No, I'm happy. I'm very good. I'm very good.
Well,
I am good. I'm so excited too.
Yeah,
aside from the fact that you're a Finn and you're always terrible,
yeah,
I mean that's a consummate. I'm a Leo,
yeah,
so there's also that. But
yeah.
so I loved Chloe. Just the fact of just your chemistry with Tom in this film is so cute. It's very double. It's I love the brother, in my sense, brother sister dynamic that you see in the film. So I want to talk about with you what your experience of working alongside him the most, since that is your primary screen partner in the film, but also just even the makeup of the movie itself. Because, and I may be describing this wrong, but at least in my interpretation of it, you're watching these two outcasts that are trying to find their place in this world, in this dystopian world that we're seeing in this film. And it's very weird to me, but weird in a good way, where you're watching in reverse, where you're seeing people of advanced technology referring to someone of like us as weird outcasts.
So talking about the experience of working with Tom, it was incredible, really. I'm a big fan of his work. I'm a big fan of his character in Harry Potter saga. Obviously, he is such a wonderful person, and I think that I want to say that I'm so grateful to him because he's such a supportive and collaborative partner. He is so kind and he's always ready to be there for you when you're working on the set. And it's been wonderful, really. I couldn't wish for a better partner there. And I really love the world that Timo, thank you so much, has created because wow, this is beautiful. Asking yourself questions about this world, like, what if this happened? What if that happened?
Mhm.
This is so interesting. And the more you try diving into this world, the more questions you ask, the more interesting it becomes. And I think that's beautiful.
I agree with that. And if Timo, if you wanted to add any comments to that as well, please go ahead before I continue. But um,
Yeah, I mean, my general feeling is of the world. Like I really went quite far down the darkest rabbit holes when I started to research this world and sort of where the technology is taking, biological technology is going to take us in the future, and
mhm.
who's going to control it, and what are we giving away as a humans to, big companies and corporations to determine like what we, and that was the reason that kind of sparked the story. And at the meantime, at the same time, I created this world, and I really fell in love with the world, and obviously the characters sort of come in the world, and they really make it alive. And I was like, I really enjoyed it. And like Lisa said, it's like, what would happen in this world if I love that kind of thinking. It's like when you're on the set, when you created this amazing, beautiful set or whatever, you walk there, you really feel that you enter into a different world, and then that kind of questions will come up. It's like, what if I do this in this world? And you
Mhm.
kind of forget yourself being in a set, and you're like almost immersed in that world. And I think that's a powerful feeling, and that's something that I really enjoyed on the set of this one, and this world building part of the world.
I do want to emphasize that the visuals in this movie are very, very beautiful, by the way. It's just how when you're seeing it from this other world, I'm just looking at it, and you said it perfectly, Timo. I felt I was more immersed in it when you're watching it because it's just so vibrant. It's beautifully shot. So for me, that it just helped me grasp that in a little bit more when I'm seeing these visuals. So, well done on that. And also,
Thank you.
I do agree as far as when you're watching it, the first things that you're coming into the fold is asking the questions, what if I done this? But the other questions I were asking was like, who can I trust in this world? Because as the
Mm.
movie progresses, you start seeing aspects of certain people in this universe of who you thought you could trust, but in reality, you really can't. So
Mhm.
it's also one of those questions that for me, I'm just watching it and going like, damn. So I love that aspect to this film, but I also want to say how exciting it must have been for both of you, if not all of you, that this premiered for those of you who don't know, this premiered last year in Cannes. What was that like for that to have that?
Well, I have to go back in that it didn't really premiere in. It was introduced in Cannes, but it
Oh, it was
wasn't. It didn't
introduced.
have a
Okay, so it didn't premiere Cannes.
yeah. So it wasn't actually a premiere in Cannes. I think there's a little bit of a misinformation about that floating around. But no, it wasn't. It was introduced over there, and there
Oh,
was
I
a
see.
lot of interest from people from from the market inside. Like, wow, that's an interesting project and all that. But it didn't really have a proper Cannes, inter.
Gotcha. Well, I'm glad
Usually.
we clarified that on the show because I
Yeah, but it's
walked
been
into
yeah.
this, I'm going like, oh my God, they premiered Con. But
No,
so yeah,
yeah.
that was one of my first things.
They
I was
don't
like,
really do
I'd love
science
to
fiction
experience.
that often in Cannes. It's a kind of a rarity if they have a proper Cannes, science fiction film. But sometimes they do, of course.
Yes. The
But
other
yeah,
as and the other aspect of this film that was also very fun to watch was the fight sequences in this is I'm a big fan of fight sequences in movies. I think that's always been my MO. So to see it in here was fun for me. And a little fun fact for the nerdiness in me, I was watching some of these scenes with the fight scenes going on, and the first thing I thought of was there was a episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer that it reminded me of. And it was, and I can't remember well, it was the character's name of Adam, and it was in the fourth season. And that whole scenario where Buffy just basically just took the whole factory down. It just made me think of that as soon as I watched it. So when I thought of that, I was going, this is pretty kick-ass awesome. So I just what was it like directing those fight scenes, Timo? Just
oh yeah,
even
it's a
Lizzie
it's
was funny, just not giving much away, but there was a scene where Lizzie was trying to clobber the guy with the thing, and she just literally was not. It was amazing.
yeah. I like these fight sequences. What was special about this one is we didn't really. I had this idea from the beginning. Let's not use studios if we can. Let's actually go into real locations because I kind of wanted to. Because when you create a fantastic world like that, you really want to have some grounding points. And if you build it all in a studio, it becomes a little bit artificial. So I was that was one of the interesting things where we shot it everything in pretty rough real locations or very touchy real locations. So that was like a president's special ballroom or like places like that where you absolutely cannot damage the environment at
Yeah,
all. Otherwise, you're in absolutely worst trouble of your life. And that kind of stuff sort of brings it always a little bit more interesting when you better gotta be, you want to make it really feel something, but also you gotta be a little bit careful, but also locations, shooting on location, that gives you certain restrictions, which I think personally they spark your imagination and they give this feeling of real vibe to it. And obviously, we had a fantastic stunt team, and they were because I'm a big believer on coming up with stuff on the spot. Uh,
Mhm.
and obviously, of course, very choreographed fight scenes can be beautiful and amazing, but there's something brutal when you go there on the set. You have a good stunt team, say, okay, this is what should happen now and now, and then you kind of come up, partially there as you plan, and I think that's really fun. But yeah, that was my part of it. But I think Lizzie also had pretty interesting time with the action sequences. You were there through the whole
Yeah,
thing, right?
we also had a small improvisation moment. I felt like one of the scenes we had when we were fighting on the kitchen, and I was like,
Yes.
what if I'm gonna get a Rapunzel movement there and I'm gonna slap the guy with a cooking pan? And I thought it was such a like that was just a thought I came up with, and I was so happy with it. And we did get it in the movie, and I'm so happy with this cut. And this is just so exciting.
Yeah.
It always happens. Always the most unexpected things always makes it into the final round. So that's pretty awesome. And I can't believe that our time is now up and this went by so quickly. And
Oh,
I
wow.
hope hopefully you guys watching, please watch this. This premieres in select theaters as well as in video on demand this Friday, November 21st, Altered. Guys, please check it out. Timo and Lizzie, thank you so much for stopping by the show. I really
Thank you
appreciate it.
very much. It
Have you
was
back
Thank
anytime.
nice
you so
talking.
much.